In the dark tapestry of the 20th century marked by the shadows of war and ideology, lies an enigma shrouded in the disturbing symbols of Nazi Germany. These symbols, rooted in ancient heritage, yet perverted into emblems of hate and oppression, offer a chilling depiction of the rise and reign of the Nazi regime. The Blut Fahne, or blood flag stained with the blood of Nazi supporters during the failed beer hall putsch of 1923, emerged as a sacred relic epitomizing martyrdom and unity in the Nazi cause. Our story begins not in the 20th century, but possibly as far back as the Neolithic era. The earliest known swastika motifs, simple yet striking in their geometry, have been unearthed on artifacts dating back to 3000 BCE. Under Nazi rule, the swastika became synonymous with a regime marked by unspeakable atrocities and the Holocaust. Originally inspired by paramilitary units like the Freikorps volunteer units composed of World War I veterans, the Nazi uniforms began to take a distinctive shape in the early 1920s. By 1938, over 240,000 SS uniforms had been produced, a testament to the SS's growing power. Admiral Erich Raeder, a key figure in the Navy, was often seen in his meticulously designed uniform, which represented the Kriegsmarine's blend of tradition and Nazi ideology. The Navy's preference for the double-breasted jacket was as much about aesthetics as it was about functionality at sea. However, the emblem's significance underwent a sinister transformation in the 1920s and 1930s. The SS, under the command of Heinrich Himmler, a man deeply intrigued by occultism and ancient Germanic mythology, adopted the Totenkopf in 1929. Himmler envisioned the SS as an elite group above the law, bound only to Hitler and the Nazi ideology. The skull stripped of flesh became a symbol of this detachment, representing the SS's commitment to execute orders without moral consideration. The Totenkopf was prominently featured on the SS uniforms, specifically on the right collar tab and on the peaked caps of SS officers. This emblem became most infamous for its association with the SS Totenkopf, the units tasked with running the concentration camps. Survivors often recalled the chilling effect of this symbol. Their presence in concentration camps like Auschwitz and Treblinka, where over 1.1 million people were killed, made the Totenkopf a symbol of terror for the prisoners. Primo Levi, in his memoir If This Is a Man, described the psychological impact of the SS insignia, noting how it represented a systematic dehumanization. The design varied slightly over the years, with early versions featuring a more detailed skull, while later iterations adopted a simpler, more stylized form. The Wehrmacht's field gray uniform was a study in military efficiency. The M36 tunic, introduced in 1936, was practical for combat and reflected the non-nonsense approach of the German army. Generalfeldmarschall Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, was often pictured in this uniform during his North African campaigns. The uniform victimized the Wehrmacht's image of martial prowess. Each branch's array of medals and badges was not just for show, but a crucial part of Nazi propaganda. The Iron Cross, for instance, was a carryover from Imperial Germany, but was reimagined by the Nazis to foster a. In contrast, the SA brown shirts, sourced from World War I surplus originally meant for German colonies in East Africa, were a symbol of the Nazi Party's street fighting roots. The Knight's Cross, introduced in 1939, was awarded over 7,000 times during World War II. Becoming a symbol of valor and heroism in Nazi Germany, the Hitler Youth uniforms mirrored the SS's style but were designed to indoctrinate the youth. Baldur von Schirach, the youth leader of the Nazi Party, famously said, "These boys and girls enter our organizations at 10 years of age and often for the first time get a little fresh air. After 4 years in the Jungvolk, they go on to the Hitler Youth, where we have them for another 4 years, and even if they are still not complete National Socialists, they go to labor service and are smoothed out there for another 6 or 8 months. The SS Totenkopf as ominous legacy." In the annals of history, few symbols stir as much immediate recognition and dread as the SS Totenkopf, or Death's Head. Initially a symbol of elite cavalry units in the German Imperial Army during World War I, these units donned the skull and crossbones as a badge of courage, signifying their readiness to face death head-on. Historical records suggest that these units wore the Kia. The choice of brown was both practical and symbolic, representing the earth and the blood and soil ideology of the party. Ernst Riem, the SAS early leader, often boasted about the simplicity and practicality of these shirts, seeing them as a unifier for the working class. The Luftwaffe, under Hermann Göring's direction, had uniforms that were a mix of pragmatism and grandeur. Göring's own uniform, often adorned with medals like the Pour le Mérite, reflected his flamboyant personality. The Luftwaffe uniform's distinctive blue-gray color was a deliberate homage to the Imperial German Air Service, of which Göring was a veteran by 1940. The Luftwaffe had grown to over 15 million personnel, each donning this uniquely styled uniform. The Kriegsmarine maintained a more. Notably, Adolf Hitler, in his infamous autobiography Mein Kampf, 1925, emphasized the importance of uniformity in creating a sense of unity and identity, a principle that would later define the Nazi aesthetic, notably Hugo Boss, now a renowned fashion brand, was contracted in 1932 to produce these uniforms. This involvement in their design incorporated traditional military aesthetics with distinct Nazi elements, showcasing the regime's blend of order and terror. Boss's design streamlined the Nazi image, embedding it with a sense of authoritarian efficiency. The black SS uniform, introduced in 1932, is perhaps the most iconic. Its designer, SS leader Heinrich Himmler, and graphic designer Karl Debit were influenced by the esoteric and mystical elements that subtly found their way into the uniform's design. The Totenkopf, death, his head insignia on the cap, for instance, was a nod to historical Hussar regiments and signified loyalty unto death. The SS uniform's stark black color was a radical departure from the black swastika. Set against a white circle and a red background, became one of the most recognizable and feared symbols worldwide, visible on banners at the Nuremberg rallies and emblazoned on the uniforms of the SS. Its perversion from a sign of good fortune to one symbolizing hate and oppression was stark and rapid, a change observed by the world with horror and dismay. In post-war Germany, the swastika and other Nazi symbols were outlawed by the Allied Control Council in 1945, a testament to their powerful and painful legacy. Today, while the swastika is still revered in many Eastern religions, its Western perception remains overshadowed by its dark past in the 20th century. However, understanding its deep and varied history is crucial to contextualizing its use and misappropriation. The tapestry of tyranny, delving deeper into the design of Nazi uniforms in the ancient city of Troy, archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann discovered swastikas in the ruins, linking the symbol to ancient Indo-European cultures. From the Indus Valley civilization to ancient Greece, the swastika was a common sight on pottery coins and temples. In Sanskrit, the term swastika translates to conducive to well-being, reflecting its use as a symbol of peace and prosperity. In Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, the swastika held a sacred status, representing eternal life, the sun's movement, or the footprint of deities. It adorned the walls of the Ajanta caves in India, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and appeared in the intricate carvings of ancient Buddhist temples in China and Japan. Its arms, pointing in four directions, symbolized stability. The design of Nazi uniforms, conceived by artists and designers like Hugo Boss and SS Obura Karl Debit, exuded a fearsome elegance with stark colors, sharp lines, and intimidating insignia. In Europe, the swastika was embraced by the Greeks, who called it a gorgon due to its resemblance to four Greek letter gammas, and the Celts, who featured it in their ornamental art. Even early Christians used the swastika, visible in the Roman catacombs where it symbolized Christ's victory over death. The swastika narrative took a drastic turn in the early 20th century. It was in 1920 that a fateful decision by Adolf Hitler, influenced by the works of Austrian occultist Guido von List, led to the swastika adoption as the emblem of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, commonly known as the Nazi Party. Hitler, in his book Mein Kampf, described the new flag design as a red flag with a white disc in the center and a black swastika in the middle. These uniforms were designed to project power, discipline, and superiority. In the haunting words of Victor Clemens, a Jewish scholar who survived the Holocaust, words can be like tiny doses of arsenic. They, swallowed unnoticed, appear to have no effect, and then after a little time the toxic reaction sets in. After all this chilling reflection mirrors the insidious nature of symbols and propaganda in the Nazi apparatus. Can we ever disentangle these symbols from their dark past? Join us as we delve into the twisted history of Nazi symbols, exploring their origins, their transformation, and their enduring impact on the world. Welcome to the Diary of Julius Caesar, the swastika through time, a journey of a symbol's transformation. The swastika through time, a symbol's journey from ancient roots to modern misappropriation. The swastika, a symbol that stirs deep emotions, has a history as intricate as its design. It is a tale that spans thousands of years, traversing continents and cultures before its infamous association with the Nazi regime. Central to the sinister iconography is the swastika, a symbol that dates back over 3,000 years and spans diverse cultures from the ancient Indus Valley to the realms of Greco-Roman empires. However, in the hands of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party, this benign symbol was perverted, rotated 45, and transformed into a menacing emblem of Aryan identity and German nationalism. Officially adopted in 1920, the swastika became synonymous with terror and genocide. Equally disturbing is the Totenkopf, or Death's Head, a symbol tracing its history to 18th century Prussian military units. It assumed a ghastly new significance within the ranks of the SS, symbolizing unwavering loyalty unto death. This journey of the swastika from a symbol of goodwill to one of tyranny is a stark reminder of how symbols can be reinterpreted and repurposed throughout history, and groundedness resonating with the religion's teachings. This marked the swastika's transformation into a symbol of Aryan identity, a concept steeped in racist ideology and pseudoscience. Annals of history, the uniforms of the Nazi regime stand out for their chilling symbolism and meticulous design. Traditional military aesthetics, and was intended to convey authority, fear, and a sense of elitism. Traditional naval style, though, with unique features like the golden yellow insignia, sense of continuity and martial tradition. Totenkopf on their helmets and uniform accessories, believing it would instill fear in the hearts of their enemies.